Now, I've been a bit of a Debbie Downer on AI tools, but that has kind of changed because, would you believe it, Scott Hanselman actually came to my Tokyo.NET developers meetup for real. Yes, this is actually him. Look, I was literally 1 meter away from the man himself. He gave us a great demo of the GitHub Copilot CLI. So I've decided to finally bite the bullet and take a look. So I actually built an entire project using the GitHub Copilot CLI and the command line only. And I built you a website to browse Microsoft MVPs. Yes, for real. And this can be seen at mvplove.com. It's live, it's there. You can browse and find your favorite Microsoft MVPs. So for example, the guy with the longest tenure is Steve Rinsberg at 31 years. What a legend. And of course, even the search function works. For example, you can type Ed Anderson and it says no MVPs found. So I will add some features to this in just a second. But the interesting thing here is that it's been a learning exercise for me. Now, you can see that it's given us the classic vibe-coded purple background. But because apparently I like to think I have some taste, this is not your typical application. I instructed it not to create a database. So what we actually have, for example, a JSON file with all the MVP data and a C#10 file-based app that scrapes all the data. And I've even made this run inside the GitHub Actions. Now, this was done entirely with the Copilot CLI. I've barely checked or read any of this code. And the code itself is pretty good. It's quite easy to read. For example, it uses var instead of not var. Yeah, so it's got good taste and so on. It's okay. But we've had some requests to fix this app. So let's do it. So Dario here said, I need a sort. My brain does not like unsorted options. Well, Dario, have a look here. It is sorted in reverse order of the popular MVP countries, but let's see if this thing can fix it for us. So we can see the offending code here is get country options, okay, where it does sort by descending of the count of country. We will update this for Dario. All right, let's go. Here we go. So in MVP data service, update the get country options method to return the results ordered by country name, not count. Let's see what this does. And I've selected Claude Sonnet 4.6. Hi. Let me look at the get country options. This inner monologue, man, it's so cringe. Here we go. Edit file. Do you want to edit the file? Look at this. Order by F value. Yes, I'll edit the file. Thank you very much. Now orders by country name. Look at that. So what we should be able to do is, because we're doing .NET Watch, go back to our value here. It is now showing all the countries by name, but that's because locally we've only got 100 MVP profiles loaded. So what we're going to have to do is update our local copy to get all the MVPs. Now our little script, again, was written by GitHub Copilot, so it's pretty cool. What we can do is cd into get MVPs. I think we can do .NET run get MVPs.cs, and this bad boy will get all of those MVPs. Look at it go. So many errands. That's so weird. While this is going, let's give it a bit more of a challenge. Update the gradient in the header to not be purple, as that's too obvious. This was vibe coded. Make it a nice blue color. Okay, see what's going to happen. All right, well, let's see what the damage is then over here. It's a nice blue. Look at that compared to the purple there. That's much better. That's a bit less vibe coded. Yeah. So let's see how our MVP download is going. We're still going. It's 5 Dennises. So one thing I want to do here is actually have a landing page instead of just going straight to the directory. So this is a pretty big change. Here we go. So the default controller is MVP. Now I did promise that I would only use the agent. So update the default root in program CS to be the home controller, not the MVP's controller. Let's go. See if it can do this. It's done it. He's done it. Updating the root. And we can go see our code over here. That is now the home controller. And if we load the app, Control R to restart. Because program CS, yeah? Why can't it just do that automatically? Who knows? Okay, so go back over here. Yeah, learn about building web apps with ASP.NET Core. Very nice. So let's give it a big task, okay? A big task this time. We want to make the new homepage nice and give a decent, interesting dashboard. Make 3 columns. First column listing the top 10 longest tenured MVPs. The next column listing the MVPs with the most spoken languages. And then a third column with 10 random new MVPs that are only 1 year in the program. Make each column 10 MVPs long and use the same card and clickable design as on the MVPs controller browse screen. What do you think? Will this blend? And we're off to the races. Okay, let's explore the code base. Could you have a cup of tea? Yeah, or coffee even. Oh, it's cold. Waiting for results. Now there are some vibe coders out there that can spin off 5, 10, 15 of these agents at the same time, but I'm not one of those guys yet. I'm old-fashioned. I'm a boomer, .NET boomer, in fact. Interestingly, this browse button doesn't work, so we need to fix that, yeah? Maybe we can do another agent at the same time. The browse link on the top right of the header bar does not navigate to the index action on the MVPs controller. Fix it. Let's see what this guy does. So we have managed to create that new homepage, the Microsoft MVP dashboard, longest tenured, most languages, new MVPs. Absolutely incredible. You can click through here and see how many languages this guy speaks. 7 languages. Wow. What a legend. Well done, Gorana. Okay, and we're back to our browse page. This browse link in the top right works. For some reason, that link did not actually work, so we're going to check shared layout. Where is it? Because we're not using tag helpers. Yeah, so this actually needs to be. Okay, I'm going to break my rule. I can't be bothered. I'm going to do @url.action. See, I never like tag helpers either, by the way, guys. Action index controller. Controller is home. Safe. Yeah. The reason I don't like tag helpers is because it basically locks you into having to use an IDE, because otherwise you'd need to know the entire scope of every tag helper. Right. MVP love. There you go. Look at that. Bang in. Actually works. Top left. Steve here. 31 years. What a champion. So now we're going to commit it, and I'll show you where this lives on GitHub. Go in here. Have a look at our changes. Yeah. So all the vibe coded slop is in this repository, which I'll put the link in the description below if you want to see. It even created basically a README as well, which is also totally cringe. But it's all there, and now it's running the GitHub workflow to build it and push it up to Azure App Service. And that is my experiment. Now, interestingly, I wonder what the guys at Microsoft think about this. But it's blocked on the Microsoft network. It thinks it's an adult website because it's called mvplove.com. Wow. Well, thank you for watching that thing over there. That was quite fun to build. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more coding content.